ask the city of Baltimore what needs to be done to curb the level of violence among black men.
First of all, we are Africans in America. So our frame of reference, first and foremost in America, really is slavery.
And I think it's an overall system that's in place that isn't about the development of poor people or people of color, but continues to be about their destruction.
So you think the system is set up for us to fail, particularly black men?
Absolutely.
You could say that the black male was targeted by racist white supremacy, the system of white supremacy. It was targeted during slavery, it was targeted during Jim Crow.
I'm a single parent. I feel like a lot of fathers, regardless if they're not with, their, other partner, they, still need to be a father figure in their life.
The issue's not so much for me now as if a father's in the house or not. It's like, is he emotionally available? Is he loving? You know what I mean? Can you have a conversation with this dude?
Can a single black woman successfully raise African-American boys on her own, do you think?
Well, during the time that I was raising my children, I said yes, because I had support. I had my mother and my father, my brothers and sisters that helped me to raise my children. Today, I couldn't say that's the same thing because it's totally different. See, the mothers of today try to be friends with their children, and they do the things with their children. Whatever, if you want to drink, if you want to smoke, they do all that with them. So then they lose control. They didn't really get the training because they were a baby growing up. So then they have a baby. They don't know how to raise the baby. And just let the child just have his way. The child just run wild. And it's no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. It was like, they did pretty much what they wanted to do. And the kids are out of control. It's because the mothers are not standing up like they should as mothers.
I say to sisters, when you start to say, you ain't no good like your father, or black men ain't nothing, men ain't nothing, and you're saying that around him, and he's 8, 9, 10 years old, he's going to start to internalize, well, maybe I ain't nothing.
I've seen young women who have their 5- and 6-year-old son on some subway, on some bus, in some community, who's angry with the man that they no longer have the relationship with, turn to that child at the age of 5 and look at that child and say to that child, you just like your father. He was no good, you're no good.
If you're saying it in the household, then outside the world, they're saying it. The school system is saying it, the police are saying it, the streets are saying, you ain't nothing. The media is saying it. Everywhere around you, you're being told that you're nothing.
So we had to wait until something happened somewhere else for us to address terrorism in America. Our young people living in terrorism every day. So when they gotta listen to gunshots, sirens, all of that each and every day, and they gotta come in school and sit down and expect to learn, they gotta come and sit down when they've been listening, not fed properly, not dealt with the things that they need to deal with to be prepared to come to school, and we expect them to do well on the SAT? When they're talking about how they're gonna survive and how they're gonna make it from one place to the next, this is our frame of reference.
At the Shock Trauma Center, about 21% of all our patients who are victims of violence will come back. It's very frustrating to you as a surgeon to see someone that you spent 6-8 hours operating on in their abdomen, putting them back together, tying off their bleeding vessels, controlling their stuff inside the belly. And then you watch them in the hospital, let's say for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, whatever. And then you send them out. 18 months later, see them come back, this time with a fatal gunshot wound to the head. It's very frustrating.
The struggles our young people are facing today are far different and much more challenging than they were when you and I were growing up in our neighborhoods and our communities. These people, these challenges are more sophisticated, they're more deadly. It is absolutely unacceptable that we have this high rate of incarceration of our people. But the reality is that if that's going to change, it's going to be because we as a community change.
I realize if you're going to deal with institutionalized white supremacy, at a very serious level, you need institutions. And I met a woman who eventually became my wife. And I asked her, what do you think we really need? She said, schools.